Hello, everybody. This is Sarah Perry's Psychic Medium, and this is the weekly spiritual guidance for the week of the 4th to the 10th of January 2021. I want to wish everybody an absolutely fabulous new year, and also apologies for not doing any recordings over the last week. Kind of just got tired and I really needed a rest. I know from a lot of people that I've spoken to that the energy changing has caused this extreme exhaustion, and I would just seriously say to everybody, go with it, allow the changes to take place, because this new transformation into the 5D energy could be quite stressful upon the physical body. Your spirit's moving up and your body's going, oh, I don't know if I can cope with this. It's a little bit like stepping into a brand new skin. Imagine if you had to peel off all the old skin, and it was quite painful. If you actually grabbed, this is a bit graphic, but if you grab a piece of skin and you pull it back, roll it back slowly, and you're exposing raw flesh, that yes, that would be pretty painful, but that's the kind of energy and the feelings that I'm picking up. Just to say as well, if there's any background noise on this recording, it's because I'm sitting outside on the terrace. Can you believe it? In the bright sun. La la la. I know anyone in Australia will understand this because it's your summertime. But yeah, it is pretty amazing where I've moved to. If any of you would like a private reading at the end of this vlog, just to interject there, then just go along to the website. Everything is in the description box below, and also do check out the weekly astrology scopes and any other spiritual guidance videos I'm putting up. Now, this is a week of massive change. Okay, we've already had the jump up to 5D. Okay, we've had all these full moons going on, we've had New Year, we've had COVID, we've had everything really, haven't we? And I think it's safe to say it's been a little bit challenging, but it is all for the best. And this morning, just before I did this recording, I got the year 2006, which is a bit of a random year, but do take some time to go and look at that year, because I've also got the message that we are in preparation for April, or the time of Aries. Now, we've come into the age of Aquarius, as you all know, but Aries is the beginning of the zodiac signs, and I feel like that's going to be kind of the new start. It comes up in a lot of readings where things are kind of taking off, lifting up, and if you think about it, we would be coming into the new Taurus summer season, and obviously for some countries that's when life comes back. At this point it's all a little bit of a lull anyway, so the limbo we're feeling is just a little bit more extreme, but nothing really different in some cases. Watch people manipulating you or being the puppeteers this year. God, that slipped out, didn't it? This week particularly, I feel that you may be awoken to how your progress may have been going backwards a few steps because of other things around you, other influences or other people causing you doubt. And this could be coming from jealousy. I'm getting rage in some people, being quite angry about this, or other people around you being quite angry, and feeling a little bit vengeful, I suppose, because their life hasn't turned out the way they wanted it. But you may see this is what I'm saying, you may suddenly realise, oh my goodness, everything that these people had a hand in, or all this advice I've been given, or opinions I've been listening to, is actually been coming from anger and fear from these people, rather than actual really good love, unconditional emotional support. But I do see this turning around, and again, it's like you're getting in preparation for this kind of Aryan energy that I'm getting. If you know any Aries, if you are in Aries, I feel there's going to be a massive kind of outlook opening up, like new perspective. You may feel it kick in more than anybody else, and I do see particularly this sense of new beginnings, or the wanting of new beginnings. So you could be around a fire energy and suddenly they're just making a massive shift when they haven't done it before, or you may be that fire energy and suddenly wanting to kind of take off and realizing how you've been almost, even if it's not influences from other people, it could just be your ideals or your mindset that has been taking you back a few steps, and that's why you haven't progressed the way that you wanted. Maybe you've been focusing on the pandemic situation and the losses that could occur, or the possibility of the breakdown of the economy, and then realise that actually just focusing on that wasn't really been doing you any good anyway, because we really don't have that kind of control. And I feel whatever is coming in this week is going to kind of open up a few realizations to us all, kind of clear. It's like if you imagine a window just really smeary and dirty, and it's been like that for years and years, and suddenly you've been scrubbing at it for a long time, and then suddenly you just wipe your hand over it, and this kind of, you see the sun coming in, and suddenly you're like, oh my God, I finally got through the grime, I finally got through the other side, and I can see the light, I can finally see where I'm going, what's been holding me back, what's actually been going on in the world, kind of thing. Okay, there's a bike going past now. Thanks very much. Typical, isn't it? On a Sunday morning as well, it's like they've all come out going, hey, Sarah's doing a recording, so let's be really noisy. Dogs drinking. It's like animal hospital around here at the moment. We've got an unwell cat who I will be taking to the vets later. We're fostering 2 kittens. We've got a cat who's hurt their paw next door, who's now taken refuge in the front. And we're really considering having a little, starting up some kind of cattery kind of hotel thing, because it seems to work for us. They all seem to come to us. Hence why I've been quite busy lately too. Anyway, moving on to next week. Some of you may find you're in 2 minds about things on around Thursday time, but just get in the flow. I'm seeing like a meeting that some of you might be going to. Obviously, it might be on Zoom, or you might have a telephone meeting, or you might be within a group and you're discussing things and you're kind of like, don't know if I want to go this way anymore. I thought I did, but now I'm not sure about these options. So there could be some big changes happening. I am getting the word merger. Certain things being broken away. It's kind of let's break off the edges that aren't working in this situation, and let's kind of strengthen the support system, so that actually, with less to worry about. So, this could be talk about condensing departments, or increasing revenue by having less workers. I know this has been happening all over the place for the last year, where things are changing, but people are kind of they're starting to get a better focus. They're not just kind of freaking out and running. They're thinking, well, actually, if we did this, this and this, and stop worrying about, what's most important, they're not worrying about the changes so much. They're just kind of focusing on the priority of what they're doing and what, is the best way forwards. Then they kind of work out a better plan, a better game plan. People are going to feel very strong, like intuitively, your gut feelings are going to feel quite driven this week around work situations. It's almost like your third eye is connecting with your solar plexus. Look, the church bells are going now. And it's like the meeting of the stomach with the third eye, okay, if you imagine it. It's like telling you which is the securest way forwards. Some people may be thinking that security, still focusing on, having enough money to live, and that's the security, whereas actually it comes from within. It comes from peace of mind. It comes from happiness. If you're doing something that makes you happy and you're enjoying it immensely, the last thing you're focusing on is what could be lost, because just for that moment, even if it's only 5 minutes or half an hour or a whole day, you kind of put all your troubles away from, you discard all the fear, and you just immerse yourself in the fun times, and it lifts your vibration, and from then on you are opening up, you're attracting much more into your life. I know this is easily said than done, and I'm not asking for people to kind of come and write comments saying, oh, this has been really bad for me. It's been bad for many people, and I just want to give guidance on how to move forwards, the best way forwards, however dark your situation is. Emotionally, I do feel there is an up on abundance this week. It's like a rebirth happening, a new directions coming in. And a lot of it is coming from feeling like the child again, feeling that vulnerable. We kind of look at vulnerability as sometimes being the victim, or being like, oh, someone can hurt me. But that's like that feeling of a child, that goes in with the curious eyes, but, with no protection. So really, this is about going back to that place where, you began again, where you were born, where there was nothing influencing you at that point until it began, before you even had any experience of conditioning. I feel emotionally better management is called called for, especially around stressful times. You may find that children are playing up, and this will be a reflection of what is actually needed for you. It's a reminder. Okay, so if a child is kind of wanting your attention or playing up or just acting out of sorts, this could be just like, hey, look at me. Animals do this, animals behavior wise, can start playing up because they're kind of saying, hey, look at me, look what's important. Hey, pull yourself together. It's not just because they want to play up. I used to have this experience sometimes with my dog. I'd be walking along and I'd be so immersed in, I've got to do this and I've got to do that, and when can I fit this in? And then all of a sudden he'd just stop in the middle of the road, just like this knee-jerk reaction. It's almost like pulling me back to reality. So be aware of those little things, because it might not be that someone's just winding you up because you're already wound up. Sometimes it's like, hey, look at me, look at this perspective, because you're just focusing on something that isn't helping you right now. I do see more flow with things that have felt you may have experienced pain from, letters coming, messages coming in, maybe apologies, or just messages to help you realise that it wasn't you, it wasn't your fault. You've been blaming yourself, but the reason somebody's been off or been quiet is because they've just been suffering. And I do see new beginnings coming from there, but that's up to you whether you want to. Sometimes the trust is already gone, and actually some people have fallen away from life because they're not serving your needs anymore, and going back to it may not be the best. You may realise it's not the best option, but I do see second opportunities to at least give it a go. You have the control though, okay? I feel like family support may be needed from you. I'm seeing intermediate, intermediums. What's the word? Mediation. God, all tongues today. Where, you may be asked as that extra voice, the extra vote, the swinging vote kind of thing. Watch this old pattern, because I feel like this is, again, this kind of the puppeteer. It's always like people putting the responsibility onto you. It's like, well, we can't decide, so we've done what you said, but we've done a vote, but now it's up to you again. So even though you've handed it over in the first place, you're getting it back again. Something is going to be revealed to somebody or people that are very stubborn this week or haven't seen something. So there'll be the bigger revelations for those who are not seeing. Okay, so again, it could be the reactions of other people, like children or animals, or behaviour issues happening, or people saying something out of sorts. So if you're already just going with it, it's probably not going to affect you at all. Remember, all these readings and guidance, if they don't resonate with you, that's okay. Don't make it work for you, okay? Because these messages are coming through for specific people. If you've got it all together and you're having a fabulous time, then keep going, guys. There's more detail to be learnt within relationships, and I do see a lot of inspiration around. So be open again, be that child, be creative, be inspiration. I'm seeing expansion within close relationships, but also endings. Okay, so it may mean that you have to end something to make it better. You may have to close a door on an issue, but I'm seeing like a double door here. This is, it could be you're closing a door on two people in your life. Maybe you've been in a situation where you thought you had to choose and actually you don't want any of them all of a sudden. This is all divine timing. Maybe some things are just ending, and sadly maybe people are passing, which they have been again. All year there's been a lot of that, but and obviously if you are grieving, I'm not going to say, oh, cheer up and go and have a good time, because that isn't going to be how you feel, but see it as everything is progressive at the moment, and that things are constantly moving, that we are always moving forwards in some way, and that things end and things begin. And I just feel like this is time of reconstruction, rebuilding, and up until April particularly, it's kind of working with the skills that we've realised that we have been lying dormant. Last year was about resources, looking to our natural resources, recreating a world from what we were given, what we were born with, working together, more teamwork, not, okay, yes, being selfish in many ways, because it is about being happy for the self, but not selfish, and allowing the ego to take over. And this next few months is about using, starting to really get things working again. Now, I know for a lot of you, especially if you're in the UK right now, it's going to be like, really? We're on tier 4, might be going into tier 5, everything's going wrong. Well, remember, actions have consequences. And I'm not going to be, I'm not on the fence, but I understand both sides, all right? I understand free will. I understand that, we don't want to be controlled, and that, we know enough now that we shouldn't have to, be restricted for no unknown reason. But, at the end of the day, whatever is going on out there, whatever has caused this, whatever alien invasion or governmental issue has caused, has let this virus free, it is free, okay? It's out there, and it's evolving, and we, the hand of the universe put these challenges in front of us in order to deal with them in an effective way. There is no point just going against the grain for the sake of it. Think about what you're doing, not just to yourself, but to other people around you. At least if you don't care about yourself, think about other people. You might have the biggest, amazing immune system in the world and just cut through all the edges, and because it's not your time, or it's just not meant to be for you. But maybe you're meant to be a warrior, a leader, a pioneer, or maybe you're a carrier. Think about that. There's so much unknown about everything, about vaccines, about where this is coming from. There's so much hearsay, and you can listen and listen and listen. And there's a bike going past, it's probably shutting me up, to all these different options, and say, yes, but it's true. But do we really know what is true unless you're there and you are a fly on the wall, okay? A lot of stuff has been created, when it comes to media and... if you think about it, if somebody wants to make someone famous, they know exactly how to do it. There's lots of people involved. So yes, we could be led down one way. Maybe this bigger force wants us all to fight so that we all fall flat, and I don't know. But the thing is, look at the positives. Look about what you can do to have the best life for yourself and for those that are close to you. Okay, that's all I'm saying. It's a simple thing. Make life easier. If you want to go on holiday, you want to go and travel the world, then be part of a team and travel the world together. Okay, let's not stop fighting. It's no different than fighting against a big wave. If you keep smashing a wave, it will smash back at you. If you flow with it, you're likely to float. All right, because the body naturally floats. If you keep flailing around at everything that's getting you and getting all emotional, all stressed, you're just going to end up drowning. All right, so think about that. Think about where you want to go in the next 6 months, what you want to achieve the end of next year. What did you want to achieve last year? What stopped you? And yeah, you can turn around and say the pandemic, but there could have still been... Sorry, my cat is now throwing the cubes on the floor. I think she's annoyed because I've just been brought breakfast, and she wants it, of course. Suddenly I've got this big crowd. So yes, we can turn around and say the pandemic was the thing that stopped it. But actually, what were you doing in the meantime? When you had time, when you were maybe indoors, where you could have done some more study, or you could have written notes, or you could have done a vision board, or you could have done some meditation. There are things that can be done. The most important thing is you have a roof over your head. Okay, there's some people that were outside in boxes. You've just had to deal with this stuff, you know. And obviously, again, this isn't something I'm opening up to argument, because I just want to get on with things. I've got retreats that I want to be doing. I want to be doing workshops, and this is constant limbo, because what I do, I put out there, is because I want to help. But I'm unable to do that without the cooperation, you know, or working with me, you know. I always say, I put out an advert on Facebook just recently about doing my 6th step at the lowest rate possible, just to help some people, and there's just no commitment to the self. It was quite obvious, you know. It was like, well, I could do that, but I need to change this down. And I thought, but all I asked for was commitment for the self. That's all you need. It's like a marriage. You marry yourself, for better or worse, sickness or health. So think about that. Maybe what you're really running away from or avoiding is you. Maybe it's time, and maybe we've given that opportunity to readdress what we want, what our goals are, who's the puppeteer, who's the biggest influencers. Whether or not someone says something, you don't have to believe it, but you don't have to fight it either, not necessarily. Sometimes fighting isn't going to win the war. Constant backlash, everybody's, you know, when you have an argument and you're shouting, someone else is shouting, it just carries on, really, doesn't it? Think about that. So I wish you all well this week, and thank you for being patient with me, and look out for any other vlogs. I think things are changing up. I'm doing an awful lot more with my artwork now, and obviously with the lovely animals, I feel like I'm being taken down. Even though they destroy all my stuff. There's a cube that now's flying across the terrace. Oh, and she's dropped it right on the value cube. Yay! Thank you, Winnie. And I will be doing some proper videos as well. I'm just in my pyjamas right now, so it's not particularly attractive. But anyway, I wish you all well, lots of love, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye for now.